With 2025 bringing more tougher water challenges than ever before, buying the best water softener on the market isn't just an option anymore. It's essential if you want to protect the investment that you have in your family's home and your family's health. Now, why do people buy water softeners, right? I mean, do you even know what a water softener is? I mean, isn't that the thing from the 1950s? Well, yes, it is, but they've been updated. Yes, water softeners, just like anything, consistently go through upgrades. And so what we're going to talk about is understand, first of all, why do people buy water softeners? They buy them because they're dealing with different issues in their home. The number one reason is people see white film on their dishes, on their shower stall. Their faucets, their shower faucet has got white film on it. They see it everywhere. They look at the glass on their shower and they're like, oh my God, what is that, right? That's the beginning of when someone can determine that they actually need a water softener, because that white film is the rock that's in the water. So if we take a famous water drop, as you guys know, I love this guy. Imagine a rock is attached to that water droplet. Now, when it hits the glass shower stall, what happens? The rock is left behind scaling. It's called scaling the glass and or the chrome or whatever the fixtures are, including even the tile. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in bathrooms of people's homes. Sounds weird, I know, but in the bathrooms, and it's like, I look at their tile, they got beautiful tile, but it's all grayed out. Like the tile looks different on the floor than up on the wall. So if your tile looks really nice up there, but looks really bad down there, that's because of the rock that was attached to the water droplet. Now, that can get solved. Now, a lot of people buy nasty chemicals like Lime-A-Way or cleaners to try to rip that rock off the tile. But why wouldn't you want to start with taking that rock off to begin with? Why use nasty chemicals that, if I'm inhaling them, it says, wear a mask, wear gloves, don't touch your skin. It's like all these things. And not only that, but that's going in the ground, going in the earth. And so why would you want to do that? So that said, a lot of people have decided they want to get water softeners to remove the rock, to protect their investment. Not only that, but your clothing, your hair, your skin. Oh my God, think about this. It goes along your skin, and what's left behind the rock? It's clogging the pores of your skin. It's binding to the hair follicle, making you spend more money on a hair salon to deep condition treat your hair, or you have conditioners, or you have shampoo, and costs go up and up and up. So if you're one of those people that are looking to identify and how to resolve some of those pain points, then this is a great video for you to watch. By the way, if you end up liking this video, please press like, share it with your friends and family. If you know anyone that uses water, this is a great video to share with them, because they're going to understand some of the benefits that a true water softener has. Now, for us to get started, we want to first identify the difference between a water softener and a water conditioner. Okay, to begin with, let's talk about water conditioners. Now, there's two types of products sold online, and I can't tell you how many people, I mean, you can look at the ones we took out of people's homes. We will meet someone, talk to them about a water softener, and then they go online and they decide to buy a water conditioner. Big difference. First of all, let's just look at the size of these guys. Look how dinky this is. They sell for thousands of dollars online. This is just one of many that are sold online. And the reason being is people will Google, or they'll do research, and they'll say, best water softener. And guess what? These companies will spend thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on advertising, on putting PPC ads together and making it sound like that this is the best thing since sliced bread. And they say, oh, you know, water softener companies don't want to let you know that there's salt-free conditioners. Well, one of the little secrets I'm going to share with you is everybody in the water industry can sell you one. Yes, I can sell you one just like this. I mean, these guys are nothing more than just canisters filled with media called Next Media. Next Media's goal, what it says it's supposed to do, and notice I said the word says, is that it takes the rock and converts it so that the rock stays on the water droplet. And so as it travels through the plumbing, the rock doesn't precipitate out and clog your plumbing. Now, in studies, that's true. Inside the plumbing of the home, it does tend to do that. However, the minute it hits the air, guess what? The rock comes off. So all the benefits or all the pain points that I just highlighted are not remedied with a salt-free conditioner. Again, they're everywhere. You can find them online, and don't get fooled. If you'd like to learn more in depth about what a water conditioner is, check out our link below. I do a very clear explanation of water conditioners and why they don't really work. We do sell them. In some cases, people want them. But for the general purposes of the issues that I just highlighted for you, we're going to talk about this guy over here. This is a water softener, and what I love about this, it's a glass version, so you can see what's inside, right? When you see them online, they're all black or they're all blue or whatever color they are. Stainless steel. I mean, you can see all the different versions that we have in the background. At Angel Water, we're blessed because we can sell almost any make and model. We service every make and model, so we can do almost anything our clients want. We are a service center for almost all the companies that are out there, so we understand the pros and cons of all the products. But before we get started, what I want to do is explain to you what happens. So a water softener basically takes that water droplet when there's dissolved minerals attached to it, like rock. Now, what happens is that rock is attached to the water droplet. There's only one way to get that rock off for good. You can't use a conditioner and hope that it stays on and keep your fingers crossed. You literally have to do something that removes that or takes that off. And what we do is we use a water softener that uses what's called resin. That's that golden media there. And this golden media is actually designed to attract the calcium off the water droplet. So as that water passes through this, what happens is the rock jumps off the filter, off the water droplet and onto that resin BB. Then from there, the water continues down to the bottom, and then goes up through the distributor and out to the home. That said, that gives you soft water because the rock has been removed from the water. Hence, again, I'll highlight it for you, soft water, meaning the water does not have dissolved minerals like rock attached to it. Now, the only way to clean this media is with sodium or potassium chloride. Now that's what this salt tank is for, because what we typically do is have a line that's attached from there to the salt tank, and what happens in the middle of the night is this thing's going to go and pour water inside this salt tank, dissolve some salt, draw the salt into this filter material, and then eventually that sodium pops off the resin BB and then goes down the drain. So that's the basics of what a water softener does. Now that said, now what we want to do is now you understand what makes a water softener work and how they work. We're going to now dive into what the different types of water softeners there are on the market. Now, before we really dive into the different water softeners, because there's so many on the market, we're going to first define what makes a water softener great, right? And no better than, someone who's been doing it for 25 years and someone who's had his hands on literally almost every water softener that's ever been manufactured or assembled. And so we want to be able to make sure that we identify for you what makes them great. Well, first off, we want to make sure we think about the size, right? Just a minute ago, you saw that we had these little dinky things. Little dinky means that that's going to restrict water flow. The smaller they are, it starts constricting the water flow. Just like how you turn on a faucet and you start turning it off, it starts restricting the flow. Same thing that can happen in a home. So that's why we do like bigger units. Bigger is almost better in most cases. And so what we want to do is, you can see here, this is a water softener that is a fake one, obviously, because it's made of glass. And you can see that what we have in here is filter material, which is resin, that should be filled up about 2/3 of the way up. Now, just for our example here, we only have it halfway, but about 2/3. Because why? We want what's called freeboard above that. Why do we want freeboard? Because the water softener goes through a cleaning cycle about once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on the water quality. By the way, this is a great time for us to say everything. I'm going to say this a couple times. Everything comes down to water testing. Any company that can just tell you that's going to work or that's going to work without truly testing your water, I don't know if I'd trust them if I were you, because the only way to know how big of a water softener you have is you have to test and see what is the stuff that's attached to the water droplet. So we want to know how big of a unit we're going to need. water or the rock in water is measured in grains per gallon. So it's sort of like, you know, if we have just a little bit of a rock attached there and we want to be able to identify how much is that, you got to think that there's a gallon of water in front of you right now, right? And when we measure water, we measure it in grains per gallon. How many little teeny grains of rock there is in per gallon? Most of America is around 7, 8 grains of hardness. Some areas, like in Barrington, Illinois, it's 35. Some well owners are going to have 45, 55. I have clients that got 110. It's like insane. The water comes out and you're just like, ow, it's killing you, right? It's honestly quite true. So they have to have really expensive water systems. But then there's other people that have relatively soft water, but that rock, even at 2 or 3 grains of hardness, is still going to cause the problems that we highlighted earlier. So when we want to pick the right water softener, we're looking, first of all, how big is it and how much filter material is inside. And it's very complicated. You can't, when someone's selling you a water system and they're selling it online, how do you know how much filter material is in there? Well, we rate it in grains, how many grains or BBs are in this unit. And so we'll say it's a 45,000 or 50,000 grain water softener or a 32,000 grain water softener. But again, unless you can see inside, you don't know if they actually are truthful. I can't tell you how many pieces of equipment we've pulled out from our customers' homes who bought a system and they're like, it's not working. And we unscrewed the valve, looked inside, and there's only this much resin in there, right? Why? Because that was a sticker company, a chuck in the truck who's trying to save money, because this is the most expensive part of the water softener. It's probably, arguably, the most important. Why? Because that resin, it needs to be able to remove the rock out of the water, and it needs to last for years and years and years. I mean, a good water softener should last you at least 7 to 10 years before you need to rebed that. But the thing is how you need to make sure that you're getting good quality resin. That's where NSF, National Sanitation Foundation, 44 testing means that the manufacturer sent water through this unit, or they sent it to National Sanitation Foundation. NSF, all the scientists there, threw thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of water at this unit with rock in it, with radium-228, radium-226, and barium, and they threw it through there. By the way, those are toxins which cause cancer. So that's why another value proposition of buying a high-quality water softener or one that is NSF 44 certified. That said, as they run the water through there, they're able to test it after those thousands of gallons to make sure that the water is getting soft, meaning that rock came off, and it took off the toxins that we just highlighted. Now, the resin BBs, being the resin is one of the most important things. It's NSF 44 certified is another. Then lastly, how big is the tank? How wide is it? And also, how tall is it? Are we dealing with a good size unit? Also, if you can see, we want to make sure that we have the right porting inside the valve, because the valve can look like it's good, but it can be a ½ inch diameter inside, and that restricts the water pressure in the home. So if you're a family of 4, 5, 6, 7, you want to have full flow water going through the water softener. So making sure we have a 1-inch diameter system control valve and it doesn't reduce water pressure is critical in designing and finding the right water softener. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about the different categories of water softeners out there, because I find that the easiest way for me to explain to you is to be able to break up the industry into 3 categories. There's big box, that's, I don't know, Home Depot, something you can buy, walk out with, and install on your own. Then there's sticker companies. That's companies like this one right here. We take a tank, we take our sticker, we take a control valve, we fill it with filter material, we screw the valve on, and we sell it to you, and we call it ABC Water. Now, that said, that's sticker companies. That's the second biggest industry out there. By the way, most online, almost, I think all online companies are sticker companies. So you got to just understand that almost everything you buy online is a sticker company. I get my last video I did lots of requests. What about APEC? What about this? Listen, if you go to Amazon, it's a sticker company. They're not a manufacturer. It's a sticker company. So we want to be able to identify that that's a true sticker company. And lastly, it's going to be professional grade. Okay? Now, if we want to take a look at the big box products, that's like these guys over here. We have Water Boss, we have GE, we have, it's manufactured for GE actually, but we have these manufacturers who build products, put it in a box, and set it out on a store shelf, and away you go. And what's the first thing you notice? Right? The height. It's small. Now, when you get the box home, it's like this big. So you think, oh, it's pretty good size. But when you get it out, you're like, oh my God, that thing's so dinky. Yes, it's dinky, but it can work for some people. So we're going to highlight what goes on. Well, first of all, these products typically don't have NSF 44 certification. I'm going to recommend to all of you, do your own research. Things do change over time, and so I want to make sure that you understand that you have to do your own homework. You can go to nsf.org. I'm going to highlight that because National Sanitation Foundation 44 listing is for water softeners. It's to prove that the water softener is working or not. So you want to check, does that product have that NSF 44 certification? Now, Water Boss does have that. I did find that theirs does have a certification for NSF 44, but you can see the problem is it's so little. Right? It's water pressure droppage. Pro is that it's NSF 44 certified, but there's a water pressure drop. Also, if you notice how little that tank is, I can't really open it, but they filled that all the way up to the top. So there's no freeboard in there, which means that because it doesn't get to lift and clean the filter material, guess what happens? It gets bound up with all that material. And so as a result, it stops working, or it starts reducing water pressure worse and worse and worse. Also, what we found is it causes water pressure drop because the way they've designed the internal design of the valve itself reduces water pressure. But, you know, if it's a family of two, maybe a family of one in a condo, maybe that will be a good product for you. Now, the price point. Installed, we usually see these going for about $1,500 to $2,500 between that and the GE version. So it's up to you. By the way, it gets up to $2,500 to $3,000 with installation. Every plumber that's going to do this could charge a different amount of money. Now, this is a great time to stop and sort of talk about what I think about plumbers. Now, it's very important to hire a licensed plumber in my book. Why? Because licensed plumbers do check to make sure they're connecting the plumbing correctly. I can give you an example. There is a company called AquaClean out of Colorado. They installed the water softeners and hot tapped it right into the sewer line, which basically means they took the drain line of this water softener that you can see here, and they just ran that right into the sewer line. Now what happened? People got Crohn's disease. You can check out the link below. We highlight the fact that this is true research that we've done, and it cost people to get, well, the business is no longer in existence. It was a $7 million a year business. Poof, it's gone. Now, the thing is that those people did get this disease from it being installed incorrectly. That's why I'm always recommending that you get a licensed plumber to install it for you. Even though these are do-it-yourselfers, meaning you can take it home and do it yourself, in general context, you're going to be spending upwards to $2,500, somewhere near $3,000 by the time you have a licensed plumber to get it installed. Now, the big box items usually come with a 1-year warranty. Now, let's be clear. The box says 10 years, you know, and everyone's like, no, Andrew, you're wrong. It's 10 years. No, the box says 10 years for the plastic on the outside. It's not for the electronics inside. Not there. It's not for the resin on the inside. By the way, that's one of the dirty little secrets. You got to do your homework. Will the filter material be covered by warranty? Almost nobody covers the warranty of the filter material. Now, when you're looking at this guy, on the side of the box, it will say 3 years or 1 year for the control for the electronics. You need to know that because basically, so you know, the dirty little secret is this company is hired to nurse that guy along till it makes it to 1 full year. Then after that, the manufacturer's like, whatever, and you got to deal with me direct. And when I come back out there and you're saying there's a water pressure issue, guess what? I'm going to tell you it's probably time to let that go and let's get you a professional grade that can improve the water pressure. Hence, it's money that just got wasted down the drain. Let's go back though now. So now we've identified that it's smaller, The porting is smaller, reduces water pressure. Some of them do your own homework, are NSF 44 certified. You want to make sure you understand all that. Also, you want to get a licensed plumber to install it, and we now know the price point. So that gives you the big box as in a nutshell for the industry. That's just if you want to go do it yourself. Now, if you're looking for someone to do it for you, by the way, pro tip, there was no pro testing the water. You got to do it, right? You got to send the water in. You want to know how much iron is in the water, how much rock is in the water, how much TDS is in the water, because those are the criteria that we want to understand when we program this. Because I can't tell you, I mean, literally every single person that's ever bought one of these and we went out to service it, it's programmed incorrectly, which means they never tested the water before they got started. And be careful, you don't want to go and take the word of a sticker company or someone else. You want to test it yourself. Send it to an independent lab. Do it with somebody that maybe that's independent, that's not trying to sell you something, so that you do know exactly how much hardness, grains per gallon, you have, so you can program these guys correctly. Also, that iron is a programmable feature on this as well. Do you have 1/2, 1 whole part, 2 parts, 3 parts of iron? By the way, they don't work at all with iron because they can't lift, they can't filter, because there's no freeboard, they can't lift up and release that iron that it's captured. Becomes a major pain in the headache. And that's why these fail all the time on well water cases, just so you know. But again, just so you know, some people, like people who are in a condo, or maybe they're visiting their cabin up in Wisconsin, that might very well work for you, especially since you want to keep the cost down. Next, we want to take a look at the second part of the industry, the sticker companies. So again, we're going to go from least expensive, big box, to the sticker companies. Now over here are sticker companies. This is, I gave you an example earlier, a water softener where we screw a valve, put resin in it, and put it inside of a tank. Now, this is everything online. You can see we've taken a lot of units out. It's not just because of their age, it's because they just didn't work. Now, I'm not saying all sticker companies don't work. It all depends on the one that you're talking to. Again, let's go to the criteria. How big are they? Well, this one looks pretty big. That one looks really big. These look pretty big, so that's great. Now, did they actually fill them up 3/4 of the way with filter material? And did they use NSF 44 certified resin? And by the way, which control valve did they use? Was it made in America or not made in America? See, basically, it's a dude in a garage that took resin, poured it inside this vessel, then screwed a valve on it, connected it, threw a sticker on it, and selling it to you. Okay, that's assembled. Is it manufactured in America? Well, no. Most of the sticker companies, almost everyone that's online, by the way, the tank is made in China. The valve is made in China. The worst of all, the filter material, the resin is made in China. Oh my goodness. Why would we want to do that? Well, we want to do that because it's cost. And I'm going to tell you, we made that same mistake. I'll be honest with you. Over 10 years ago, what we did is we were building our own water softeners. We used a distributor called an OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer. They're really not a manufacturer. No, they're really not. They're just a distributor that assembled something for me. And what they did is, what we found out that they were doing is they were buying things, assembling it, and then I was able to put my sticker on it. Back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, early 2000s, yeah, they worked great. Why? Well, all these parts were made in America. Guess what? Dealers were competing with each other, and they said to the distributor, or the OEM, hey, I want it cheaper, I want it cheaper, I want it cheaper. Well, the only way to garner a cheaper water softener so they don't jump to another OEM is to go make it in China. So they started buying Chinese products. And that's where the problem started for Angel Water. We were building these units, we were assembling them, or we had a distributor assemble them for us. Both cases, we'd make them and we'd have distributors assemble them for us. And what did we find out? We found out before long that this is made in China and the resin's made in China, and we had nothing but failures. We started having clients call and saying, hey, it's not working, this is not working. We're 2 years into it, and we're just like, what's going wrong? And that's when we identified that, wait a second, How important is NSF 44 certification? Because that means that that resin quality, the quality of that resin is high grade and it lasts longer. It means that we're not having service issues with the control valve, because this thing's got to handle all the water. Every time you turn on the water in your house, that guy's working, right? We have water running through it. We got to have a meter that's counting the gallons. We got to make sure it's working correctly. So there's a lot that's going on. Think about every time you turn on your faucet, a machine is working. That's pretty important, right? So, and not only that, but that water that you're using, it's for your health. It's for your welfare. And so it's so important to your body. Think about your body. 70% of it is water. 95 or 90% of your brain is water. Wow. There's an old line in the water industry: buy a filter or be the filter. Because your body literally is a filter, right? Your body actually takes everything you consume and makes it part of you. And when I started taking my background in healthcare, and here I was selling water softeners, and then all of a sudden I was having problems with the longevity of these, and I started researching why. I uncovered that we were missing the NSF 44 certification, which made these guys last not as long. And what's worse is that means that they weren't certified to take out radium-228, radium-226, and barium out of the water. And in Chicagoland, in Florida, we have water all over the country that has that toxin in the water. Again, the only way you can know if it's in your water is I'm going to give you a quick little pro tip. Go to ewg.org. Go to the tap water database, enter your zip code, and you're going to be able to uncover what is actually in your water. If you see radium-228, 226, or barium, ding, 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 this guy becomes way more valuable to your family, because now you got to say to yourself, do I really want to hope that the Chinese product is going to actually take that toxin out of the water? Any of those toxins out of the water? And by the way, do I want to make sure that the product's going to last a long time? So my criteria here is, does the product last a long time? That's what most customers want. They think they're going to live in the home for 5 to 10 years. They want to know that the investment that they have is not going to be a 1 or 2 year option, that it's actually going to last longer. Yes, you get a little bit more longevity. This product is going to usually, by a sticker company, is going to be somewhere around 5 years. They all claim 10 years or more. Sometimes they say they have lifetime warranty. But who's backing it? How much money did it cost you, right? So the thing is that the dealer, Chuck in the truck, is it his lifetime? Your lifetime? Whose lifetime are we talking about? So you have to be very careful about when you're going to buy this, especially if you go online. Look at the fine print. Everything has fine print when you're buying something online. It's like, it's crazy, right? The filter material is made in China, so they have this fine print. Well, you can't have this, can't have that. That said, when you're evaluating a sticker company product, you have to do the research very deeply. You need to be able to ask very important questions. Is the unit certified? Is it made in America? Is it Chinese or not Chinese? Does it have a 1-inch control valve? Some of these older ones, it's a 3/4-inch control valve. So a family of 5, no, you don't want that one because it's going to restrict the water flow. So there's some criteria that you have to understand if you're going to go down this path. By the way, the price point for a sticker company is going to be anywhere between $2,000 up to $7,000. I've seen some sticker companies selling products for $10,000, and I'm like, wow, yeah, it's like, it's crazy. And they put them in a steel tank like that. That's stainless steel here. And they're like, oh, it's the best product on the planet, and it's made by blah, blah, blah company. And it's like, yeah, but if you really research it, it's nothing more than a Chinese valve with Chinese resin inside a stainless steel tank that, yes, the stainless steel tank was made in America. But as you can see, we took it out of someone's house. Why? Because it didn't work. Again, that had a lifetime warranty. Well, it's obviously not the lifetime of the dealer because he's out of business, and the customer called us to help them with that. So again, I can't stress how important it is to look at how old the company is that you've been buying from. Do they have a physical address? Can you go knock on their door? Oh my God, I have this debate on the phone with people all the time. They're like, hey, I looked at ABC company online. They're great. I mean, they have so many Google reviews. And I'm like, well, let's see if they're truly a manufacturer. Let's go to their website. Do they have an address? Most don't even have an address on their website. Hello? I mean, if they don't have an address and they're a manufacturer, that seems silly to me, right? They should have an address where you can literally Google map it and search it. Like, Google's amazing, right? I mean, I do everything with Google. I don't know about you, but I can actually zoom in from the stars and look down and see, do they really have a factory or not? And wouldn't you know it? I mean, most of the products on Amazon, I've had a debate with customers or talk to customers on the phone and go, let's just take their address. And in a Zoom discussion, we'll say, all right, let's Google it. Let's find out, oh, look, we can do a drive around the whole building thanks to Google. And we're like, oh, well, there's no factory. It looks like it's just a distributor. I've had retail. I've zoomed in and what we saw is at a retail location. So that said, you have to do your own research when you're evaluating these and understand, is it going to be worth it? And by the way, you might want to do some research on the Google reviews. Sometimes they look amazing online, but you might want to be able to make sure that they're people near you and not fraudulently made online, especially if it's an online sticker company. By the way, online would mean you still have to hire a plumber to install it. Now, these sticker products can still be good if they are all made in America. The components are made in America, and that dealer that you're working with knows what they're doing. So I'm not saying that they're all bad, but you have to do your own research. You have to have the word and the know-how that they are the independent company that you're dealing with knows what they're doing, that they should be a licensed plumber. I mean, you don't want Chuck in the truck installing it and making sure that he doesn't drill a hole in your sewer line, right? Are they bonded? Are they insured? You got to ask for those things when you're having a sticker company out to your house. So I hope that identifies for you that, again, the price points can be between $3,000 and $10,000. They are typically a step above the big box products, but you have to really double check to make sure if any of them are certified. I don't think I've found one that's certified yet that's going to be NSF 44 certified. Now we're going to migrate to professional grade. Professional grade water softeners are going to be, there's 4 companies in the industry that I consider professional grade. You've got Culligan, Kinetico, Rainsoft, and EcoWater. 4 major corporations that have been in the industry for many, many, many years. These companies have been selling water softeners, some of them since the early 1900s, the late 1800s. Now that's important. You're like, wow, that's a long time. That's great. Yes, it is great. And that's why you need to know who those people are and whether or not they would be best suited for you and your family. Now, let's begin with the professional grade. Professional grade means that this is a corporation that is manufacturing it and puts their name on it, and you can Google it and find it almost anywhere in the country. They have dealers all over the country. Just to be clear, every professional grade company has what's called dealers. That means if you go and Google Culligan and it says bad reviews, well, don't get thrown off by that, because that might be one guy in New York and you're in Texas, right? The guy in Texas might be fantastic. So you got to do your own research and double check where those are coming from, because it doesn't necessarily mean that dealer, independent dealer, the independent dealer's got it's got its own corporation. So it's a C Corp or an S Corp. So they just are using the name Culligan in order to be able to identify who they are. Now, let's talk about these different manufacturers that are out there, because there's 4 of them. And let's first of all define, are they made in America? No, not all of them are. So let's take a look through them. First of all, you have EcoWater. Yes, Mississippi. You can Google it, you can find it. It's made in Mississippi. When you look to Culligan, it used to be made in America. It's not. It's assembled in America, and it used to be made in Northbrook, Illinois, but they moved their factories overseas. They have moved a couple of factories over to Mexico, but they're no longer made in America. The side of their box, and what they say is it's designed and assembled in America, because they send the parts here and obviously assemble it. Then we have Rainsoft. Rainsoft also manufacturing the products in China and bringing it over and assembling it in Elk Grove Village. And then you have Connecticut. Connecticut is American manufacturer. They have a plant in America, and they are manufacturing it. And again, really, all four of these are pretty good products. Just to be clear, they're all good. I find that when we're servicing any of them, they are lasting longer than the average bear. But what do we want to do? Remember, we want a product to last long. Again, last long taking rock out of the water. Rock is hard to deal with, right? Think about it, the rocks that you used to throw as a kid. I mean, they just break everything that they get in touch with. It's ruining your dishwasher, ruining your hair, ruining everything it comes in contact with. Now, if we take a look at these four corporations, we want to ask ourselves, out of those four, which one is NSF 44 certified? One. I've done the research for you. You can double check it because things do change over time. This video does last a long time. So you can double check, is the product NSF 44 certified? EcoWater is NSF 44 certified. Again, that means that thousands of gallons of water through an independent non-for-profit tested the water after it and made sure it was coming out, the rock was coming out, and that one is. Is it made in America? This one is. Connecticut is. Two companies that are actually making their products with a factory in America. Again, the reason why I find that that's worthwhile is because they last longer. Three, do they have a national support should you need help? Well, all four actually have that. See, the one thing about what's nice about a major manufacturer, professional grade, is that if the dealer goes out of business, someone else jumps in and buys them, and they're there to service your needs. With a sticker company, you're out of luck. But all four of these companies will have professional organizations that got trained by the factory to make sure that they can replace the parts that you possibly would need as you move forward. Now, I've also found that the porting on all these are all very good. They all allow water to flow through it very, very well, with one exception, Connecticut. You can see how small this tank is. They take the filter material that would be in one big tank, cut it in half, and place it in two separate tanks. Now, they do have freeboard inside of here, but the problem is that when we have a large house, we got a lot of water flow going through this 1-inch control valve, we've seen high hardness slip right through it. That said, it's not a 100% softening the water. In addition to that, it also has no controls. Nothing to tell you, hey, the water's running, you have a leaky toilet, there's no computers. Now they say, hey, ours uses no electricity. Well, I mean, all other water softeners, they have a little power adapter that's basically the same as an electric clock, right? It's using virtually no power. Where the power comes from in order to clean itself is using the water pressure from the city or from your private well. So the fact that it's not using electricity, I guess that's important, but it's not the most important thing because we're talking pennies a month that it costs to keep the electricity going. That said, you also, if you want to be able to have it remove chlorine out of the water, you're going to need a second tank, which costs you more money. Same thing with RainSoft, same thing with Culligan. So what we like about EcoWater is not only do we find that it's NSF 44 certified, made in America, but they have a patent on a product called a refiner. And that means that they basically are taking the water and they're running the water through first carbon and then resin. So if you're on city water, basically it's taking the chlorine out of the water, which helps protect the resin, and then it runs it through the resin in order to take out that rock. Now that makes it a refiner. So now we're not only benefiting by taking the rock out, we're also getting that chlorine out of the water. And we know chlorine, if you've ever read the side of a bottle, it's got, oh my God, it says, don't touch, don't inhale, don't let it get in your eyes. You know, it dries everything out, right? What happens when you get out of a pool? Well, yeah, your hair dries out, you got all these different issues. In fact, they tell you to go take a shower. But wait, in many parts of the country, the level of chlorine in the tap water is more than what's in a pool. So that's why a refiner or EcoWater professional grade unit can be so great, is because it does do that. In addition, it's got a Wi-Fi ability to be able to look on your phone and see if water's running. Now, here's where this product separates from all the others. You get a lifetime warranty on the filter material for the refiner series. Now, why would they do that? Here's why. Their app you can get their phone or their app for your iPhone, and it can sit there and buzz you and tell you your water's running all day long. Now, water running because of a leaky toilet or a kid leaving the faucet on or who knows what, that's what ruins the filter material. So now you have an alert on your phone saying, hey, something's running, which by the way costs you a ton of money when it comes to your water bill if you're on city water. So this is how this company is able to give a lifetime warranty on their filter material in many of the cases. Now, they do come with a standard 5-year warranty plus 5 if you buy the extended warranty. Now, some companies, like when sold through Costco, it comes with the 10-year warranty. Just pro tip right there, when it comes to the Costco program, you get the full 10-year warranty from head to toe on that product. Now, when we take a look at these other guys, what are we looking as far as warranty goes? Well, the manufacturer typically has a 10-year warranty on all these professional grade tanks. 10 years is great, right? Yeah, it's fiberglass. It's not going to go bad. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. They give you 5 years on the electronics that are part of it. And then sometimes your dealer will double that and throw that in with the warranty. So they may come with a 10-year warranty on the control valve. But buyer beware, you better ask yourself, what is the details on the filter material inside of all these? I found that EcoWater is one of the only companies from the manufacturer, which by the way, it's owned by Warren Buffett, that's backed by a company like that in order to make sure that your family's water is going to be phenomenal for many, many, many years to come. So I hope what this has done is explain to you the professional grade. Professional grades, by the way, these, depending on the equipment that you buy, a refiner series is going to run you somewhere around $7,000, $8,000 installed. Kinetico, they're all going to be pretty comparable. So they do have lower end products and higher end products because they want to earn your business. They're worried about those sticker companies. They're worried about the big box. So they have price points that are going to be installed between $4,000 to $10,000 or $12,000. So they can range in between there. And I know that's a big range, and I'm sorry that I can't be more specific. I can't get into all the details of everyone's different models that they offer, but that's your job when you're doing your research. Because what you need to do, again, is understand those critical points. Is it certified by NSF? Is it made in America? What is the warranty going to be? What's the fine print on the warranty? Who's going to install it? By the way, I don't even know for sure, is a professional grade company, are they going to truly be careful when they install it? Make sure that independent dealer is licensed, bonded, and insured. Make sure that they know that they're going to put what's called an air gap on the water softener when they go to drain it. These are some critically important things to keep in mind because they're dirty little secrets. And you got to know all these dirty little secrets when you're buying a water softener because the benefits are amazing. Literally, what's wonderful about selling water softeners for me is because I came from the healthcare industry. And what's great for me is we're able to not only save you money, we're able to make you more healthy. So what I hope that you've learned from this video is what are the criteria that you need to understand when going in and buying a water softener. And my overall goal is that be able to do the best I can in a short video on the dirty little secret of the 3 different types or the 3 different categories when it comes to the water softener industry, and then break that down to the criteria you want to look for when you decide to buy a water softener. As you know, my name is Drew, and I'm here to serve you. Thank you for watching.